Winston Churchill. A name synonymous with courage, leadership, and defiance. We all know him as the wartime Prime Minister who rallied Britain against adversity, but beyond the iconic image lies a man full of surprises. In this video, we will look at 10 facts you probably didn't know about the man, revealing unexpected talents, surprising experiences, and fascinating details that paint a more complete picture of this historical giant. Make sure to stick around until the end, as the last fact will blow you away. So grab your metaphorical cigar and settle in. We're about to go beyond what you thought you knew about Winston Churchill. So let's get straight into it with fact number 1. Did you know he was, technically, an American citizen? Born in 1874, Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill was the son of Lord Randolph Churchill and American socialite Jennie Jerome. This made him a dual British-American citizen right from the moment of his birth. This dual citizenship, British by birth and American through his mother, might seem like a small detail, but it played a significant role in shaping his worldview and, in turn, his leadership style. So, the next time you think of Winston Churchill, remember, he wasn't just a British bulldog. He also had a bit of the American eagle in him. For our second fact, did you know that Churchill was not only a leader but also an escape artist? Picture this, the year is 1900, and Winston Churchill, then a war correspondent, finds himself in the thick of the Boer War. He ends up being captured by Boer forces and is imprisoned, but not for long. Displaying a resourcefulness that would become his hallmark, he manages a daring escape. The details of his breakout are the stuff of legends. He evades his captors, traverses treacherous terrain, and braves harsh weather conditions. Churchill's will to survive is awe-inspiring, his spirit indomitable, his courage extraordinary. He eventually finds his way to freedom, proving to the world, and perhaps to himself, that he's a survivor, a fighter, an escape artist. This ordeal was but a glimpse of the Churchill the world would come to know and respect. The courage and resourcefulness he displayed during his daring escape were qualities that would define his leadership. Now we move on to fact number 3. The year was 1916, and the world was embroiled in a conflict unlike any other before, the First World War. Amid this chaos and devastation, the Battle of the Somme was unfolding, a pivotal conflict that would leave an indelible mark on history and on one man in particular, Winston Churchill. His involvement in the war was more than just political, it was deeply personal. He lost close friends on the blood-soaked fields of the Somme, an experience that etched a deep scar on his psyche. These losses would forever shape his perspective of war, imbuing him with an understanding of its devastating costs. But ever resilient, he channeled this personal tragedy into his leadership, using his first-hand experience of war's horrors to guide his decisions. The Battle of the Somme was not just a historical event for Churchill, it was a deeply personal tragedy. Fact number 4 finds Churchill facing the Great Depression head-on, with a paintbrush in hand. Surprised? Yes, the same Churchill who steered Britain through the stormy waters of World War II found himself grappling with his personal financial crisis during the Great Depression. But here's the thing, he was no ordinary man. He was an individual of many talents, and one of them was his artistic prowess. In the late 20s, as the world's economy stumbled and fell, Churchill picked up a paintbrush. He used his art not just as a creative outlet, but also as a means to generate income. He started selling his paintings, turning a hobby into a lifeline. Each stroke, each blend of color, was not just an expression of his creativity, it was a testament to his resilience. If you ever find yourself admiring a Churchill painting, remember the story behind it. He didn't just fight depressions on the world stage, he also battled his personal financial depression with art. Fact number 5 might actually really surprise you. Churchill, a statesman. And a bricklayer? It's true. While we often picture him delivering impassioned speeches or strategizing war plans, He also harbored a fondness for bricklaying. So while this may seem surprising to you, it's an essential part of his multifaceted personality. Indeed, he didn't just dabble in bricklaying, he embraced it wholeheartedly, enjoying the practical and tangible aspects of this craft. He even built a wall at his Chartwell estate, a testament to his hands-on approach and willingness to get his hands dirty. Bricklaying provided Churchill a respite from the intense pressures of his political life. It was a hobby that allowed him to switch off his mind, focus on the task at hand, and create something lasting and practical. This pastime showcased a more grounded and human side of Churchill, a man usually known for his larger-than-life persona. His love for bricklaying shows us a different side of this well-known leader. Now let's get on to fact number 6. I did touch upon this a little earlier, but I need to emphasize that Churchill wasn't just a hobbyist painter. He was a prolific artist. Yes, our man of many talents discovered his passion for painting in the 1930s. It wasn't just an occasional activity for him either. It was something that he took extremely seriously, and it allowed him to express his creativity and find solace in times of stress. From landscapes to still life, Churchill's artwork displayed a wide range of subjects and styles. He was particularly drawn to scenes of tranquility and beauty, perhaps as a counterbalance to the turmoil he often faced in his political life. His artistic journey was not a hidden one either. He was open about his love for painting, and often used it as a metaphor for his political strategies. Over the course of his life, Churchill created an impressively extensive portfolio, with over 500 works to his name. This side of him is a facet of his life that most people are totally oblivious of. Fact number 7 might be one you are a little familiar with. Churchill's views on colonialism were complex and controversial. As a staunch supporter of the British Empire, his colonial perspectives were rooted in a belief that the empire brought civilization, justice, and order to the world. This conviction, however, put him at odds with the rising tide of independence movements in the mid-20th century. Most notably, he faced intense criticism for his stance on India. Churchill adamantly opposed India's independence, fearing it would lead to a collapse of the empire and a decline in Britain's global influence. His opposition was met with widespread disapproval, both within and outside of the United Kingdom. It painted him as an imperialist out of touch with the changing world. This aspect of his legacy is a contentious one. It paints a picture of a leader caught between preserving an empire he cherished and adapting to a world increasingly favoring self-determination. Churchill's colonial views continue to spark debate even today. Let's get on to fact number 8. Churchill narrowly missed out on the Nobel Peace Prize. What happened? Well, in 1953, a remarkable event occurred. The Nobel Peace Prize, one of the most prestigious accolades in the world, was within his grasp, yet it slipped away. The nomination committee found itself in a pickle. They were torn between awarding the prize jointly to Churchill and Konrad Adenauer, the first post-war Chancellor of West Germany. The dilemma stemmed from their contrasting wartime roles. While Adenauer was instrumental in rebuilding post-war Germany, Churchill's role was more complex and contentious. It was a tough call, a deadlock that left the committee in a quandary, but let's not forget, Churchill was no stranger to controversy or challenge. And although the Nobel Peace Prize narrowly eluded him, his impact on global peace and stability was far from insignificant. Despite the Nobel Prize deadlock, Churchill's contributions to peace were undeniable. Now we arrive at our penultimate fact. Churchill, the Night Owl. Not exactly. Now, this might come as a surprise given his reputation as an indefatigable wartime leader, but recent research paints a more nuanced picture of his work habits. Contrary to popular belief, Churchill wasn't entirely nocturnal. He worked in bursts, interspersed with periods of rest to maintain his energy. Imagine the scene: Churchill, huddled over papers, his mind whirling with strategies and speeches. Then, after a stretch of intense focus, he would step back, take a breather, and perhaps even indulge in a short nap. This was his secret weapon to combat fatigue and keep his mind sharp. The next time you pull an all-nighter and feel like you're channeling the spirit of Churchill, remember, even this great leader understood the importance of rest. His sleep habits challenged the conventional image of the tireless leader. And finally, for fact number 10, this is the one that may surprise you the most. Churchill was the first person to be made an honorary citizen of the United States. This extraordinary honor was conferred upon him in 1963, marking an enduring symbol of the strong transatlantic ties between the United Kingdom and the United States. His dual heritage played a significant role in shaping his worldview, with the United States and the United Kingdom forming the two pillars of his geopolitical perspective. The honorary citizenship was not merely symbolic, it was a recognition of Churchill's significant contribution to strengthening the bond between the two nations. His leadership during World War II, his championing of the special relationship between the United Kingdom and the United States, and his unwavering commitment to democratic values made him a respected figure on both sides of the Atlantic. So, how well do you now know Winston Churchill? This journey through the lesser-known aspects of Churchill's life has painted a more nuanced image of a man often remembered primarily as a wartime leader. We've traversed his early life, starting from his unique American connection to his daring escape during the Boer War and the deeply personal losses he experienced during the Battle of the Somme. We've also shed light on his artistic inclinations, his bricklaying hobby, his passion for painting that emerged in his 40s, and his use of art to battle the financial strains of the Great Depression. Churchill's controversial colonial views, his near miss with the Nobel Peace Prize, and his unique work habits have further enriched our understanding of this multifaceted figure. And finally, his honorary American citizenship, a nod to his cross-Atlantic roots, brings us full circle. As we've discovered, Winston Churchill was far more than just a wartime leader. He was a man of many talents, passions, and complexities, a man who truly left his mark on history. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and perhaps consider subscribing to my channel. I frequently upload videos similar to this one,